Hi, and welcome back to the Neverending panel. I'm Charles Lee Jackson II, and I'll be your host and moderator for this segment. With me today are Eric Hoffman, film expert, movie fan, and convention speaker, and our own Arlene Satin. She's our own, so we don't have to explain who she is.
Why, thank you.
All the payments are made, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
all the payments are made.
So, our topic is horror films we have loved and loathed. And Eric, you and horror films go back way far. So tell us about one that you loved and why you loved it.
The Wolfman. It's got the best one of the best casts you'll ever have for what's considered a classic horror film. You get involved with the character. He's like the average guy, sort of, who's in a situation beyond his control more than anybody would have thought. And it just works. It's like Greek tragedy set in a modern situation.
Okay. Arlene? You have one
Well,
you
I
love?
actually, The Blob, you know, I mean, I think it was a little over the top, but it had its moments. The part that really got to me in the whole movie was when the Blob ate the little cute animal,
Oh, the doggy.
the doggy.
Little doggy, yeah.
That was sad.
Well, what unnerved
But-
me was when it first devours the doctor in a really nice built-up sequence, and then you always wonder in your movie theater, particularly your Saturday matinee, all of a sudden, is there something in that booth? You know, is it
Yeah.
going to come out? I think that was every kid's nightmare to
Well,
find.
it's not like a locked door could stop it. It just go underneath, or any gaps in the doors, windows, you know. So how do you escape something like that?
It's probably the ultimate monster.
Yes. And it's got I always love the theme song. I love the theme song when I first saw the movie. And every year now at Halloween time, a lot of the cable companies have their music channels, the audio channels, and they have a Sounds of the Season is one of the things they call it, where they'll run some music appropriate to whatever the holiday is. And at Halloween, they run classical music and monster theme songs. And there is a wonderful version of the Blob theme that's just those same lyrics over and over again about 5 times.
And considering it's interesting is who was partly responsible for that film, and he always gets a little bent out of shape when people bring it up. Burt Bacharach.
Well, I mean, that's part of the glory of those movies, is that the music is sometimes the best thing about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And you always know when doom and gloom is about to hit you by the tone of the music.
As for monsters we have loathed.
Well, I haven't done my love yet.
Okay, let's hear your love.
Thank you. I'll have to go with The Mummy's Ghost, the third of the The Mummy series. Because when I was a kid, we had Chalk Theater on at 11 o'clock every night, and I got to stay up and watch monster movies. And The Mummy's Ghost it's very interesting because it just has so many different things going on. It has drama, it has a little bit of comedy, a lot of spooky elements, and that music, indeed. I figured out how music in movies worked listening to the Hans Salter score for The Mummy's Ghost, picking out the different instruments and seeing how they all fit together, and then watching Lon Chaney and Eddie Parker as Carice the Mummy stalking across the landscape.
Old Inch and a Half an Hour.
Yeah. And of course, that's famous as one of 2 of the Universal movies where the monster gets the girl.
Sort of.
Well, certainly Robert Lowry, who apparently has spent 25 years going to college at that point, doesn't get the girl.
That's a thought. You don't think about that. You're wondering, will Carice finally get the girl and find happiness? And the ending, to me, is probably one of the most jolting for a 40s chiller.
Yes. Okay, now tell us one you loathed.
Anything from George Romero's zombie movie Night of the Living Dead and most of the zombie movies to date. I loathe and despise them, mainly because it opened the gates for gore to start blasting out everywhere. And, in my opinion, caused a lot of horror films today to be maybe 15% plot and the rest of it, showcases for as many CGI and gross-out special effects as they could come up with. It's, again, why I liked it up to a certain year. There are a few that have had gore that have been very good, like the Reanimator movies and like that. Mm-hmm. But for the whole... Oh, of course, one that I really loathe partly and laugh at is a thing called The Creeping Terror. The monster's a giant carpet, and you can see the feet underneath it of the people who are working
yes.
it. Arlene, what about you?
Well, I'm not tremendously fond of zombies. I mean, first of all, there's nothing to them except that they are dead, and they're walking, and they're trying to eat people's brains. I mean, the people who support that movie are the parts of the movie I like, but the creatures themselves as monsters really don't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I prefer when they were a result of voodoo, like White Zombie or I Walked with a Zombie.
Yes, yes. I hate the flesh-eating, brain-eating zombies are just crap. If Mantan Moreland can't be hypnotized into thinking he's a zombie, I don't want to see that movie.
Or John Carradine. You don't see John Carradine trying to create zombies for the Axis, you know.
Yes, yes. And if Bela Lugosi isn't wearing feathers in his hair...
That was
right
George
on.
Zucco, I think.
Yeah, it was George Zucco.
No, I have to disagree.
Oh.
I think modern zombie movies are really, it's not about the zombies. It's about us. It's about survival. It's about how we react when the zombies are coming for us. That is really the core of the zombie movie. It's a human story. It's about the audience. It's about you and me. And I think that's why it's the most powerful of the horror movies.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Soundman Tim. With that, I think we can wrap up our little segment here.
Except for hair, maybe?
Except for hair? Oh, hair, yes.
Well, my favorite, of course, I'm a younger person, is probably Alien. People, they seem to have forgotten about its acid blood for the later parts of it. The first two movies deal
Continuity,
well,
in other words.
That, to me, is the ultimate to me.
Okay. Well, thank you, Hare. And thank you all for joining us for this segment of Neverending Panel.